father was farmer and my father forester, I have genetically agroforestry in my blood. So when I became animal scientist and I worked, I still was planting the trees because it was my nature. So now what we are doing here, it's a just small scale family farm, which is quite unique. So we would like to stay out of all the subsidy, out of that, but we would like to play with the nature to make nice environment for everything. So what you can see here, that we received some property back during restitution after the communism. So we received that cherry orchard. So we are thinking what we will do with all those grass. So the first solution is, okay, let's put some extensive animals there, which we will not need any input, and they will have living with us in harmony. So we have started with the deer, after we received that primitive breed moorland sheep, and also we have wild llamas, guanacos there. So it's like diverse. We have several species, but it works well together with the trees. So before we did not know anything about the agroforestry. So now we have agroforestry system here, which is functioning perfectly. And there is a lot of synergies which you can see between the trees, grassland, animals, soil, and so we have no any inputs, any chemicals, and what we are just bringing in that system is through the winter hay for the animals. They now are eating the falling leaf from the trees. If there are some cherries falling down after when they ripen too much, they are eating that. So we don't need to use any chemicals to fight against the funguses, because all the material is eaten by the animals. And we can see also some changes through the years. And we found the colony of solitary living bees, and they were just making the holes in the ground. So they are perfectly timing their reproduction with the tree blossoms. 1 week after, there were so many small tiny bees flying around it and coming in those holes. It's coming naturally, just because we were designing our environment here in a favor of different organisms. During communism, they destroyed all the biocorridors, natural areas, which were, for example, we are at the quite hilly area. It's still not high above the sea level, but normally what was happening, they were taking out all the terraces, and they were trying to make big fields even on the slopes. And here we are on one of the terrace, but because it was quite narrow, there was not possible to make the field. So they left that. It was formerly orchard, and they left that with no management. So it's nice that nature developed very nice biodiversity, which is now used by the wildlife. And even we are close to the lowland areas where there is very intensive crop agriculture with no animals. Such stands are very unique, and we are happy that we received that property back. And what I would like to do there will be just some ecological modeling. So we will take advantage of what happened here. We will just make some openings and we'll plant some timber trees. So we will not change completely that area, just we will start a little bit manage. So what we can do for agroforestry is to be very passive. Don't do anything and it will happen, because nature will make biodiversity, which is core for the stability of the ecosystem. Now it's very windy. The wind reached almost 100 kilometers per hour, and we are just inside of that growth, and there is almost no wind. So that's very nice on agroforestry, that it makes stability in an area what we see above us and under the ground. So all the trees, they are very important to make environment very stable. So we will just, what we plan to do there is to a little bit clean there, to maybe collect some dead trees for the firewood, and maybe just to open the place for another trees. So we will change from that passive management, which create that system with the trees, to some agroforestry, which we will little bit manage, just to have in the future potential production, because still we need to pay the taxes from that area. So for long-term use, the trees are perfect, because we are explaining to our children that the trees will stay there even for their children, that it's something what is between generations, and that's also part of that stability, that we would like to somehow attract our child to stay in that area, to have something to do, so that all the activities, it's nice physical work with such an environment outside, and we can get some profit out of that. So also again to combine that with, part with the animals, part with will be with vegetables, so it will be just for our family and for the friends to explain that if you design a little bit your environment, it's starting to be self-sustained, and that you will see a lot of changes, because in favor of biodiversity and those things. So we are happy that we have such a property, which is, we call it jungle, because it looks like a jungle, and we will just keep the jungle for the future.
When you want.
When we want.
1, 2, 3.
Ahoj,